We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by Cosmom09 Rachel Burt, Sharon D, aka Blazy Gardner, and Bridget. ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. We actually had a very extensive discussion in the unedited episode in the pre-show that you can watch if you support us. It has everything to do with hot washes, preparing for cons because we just came back from the camp, things that we want to do, things that we could be doing, and everything in between. And maybe some drama. No, I think that was cut out in the final analysis, right? I think.
Yeah, please cut out that drama. I don't need anybody hearing that I overheard that.
Which you can hear if you support us. Head over to either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead. Select the tier of your choice or buy us a coffee. You can get access to any of these episodes, these unedited early access episodes for 30 days when you do buy us a coffee on ko-fi.com/squawkingdead. Join a tier for as little as $1 a month on Ko-fi and get notifications. You'll know when these episodes drop early in all its unedited hysterical glory. And this one in particular is worth a listen because we talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff from this podcast that feels like it's very intimate, and it probably should be. Gosh. But we're making that available to you so that you're on the inside of what we're doing now. So won't you join us? Oh, and think about buying some Phineas coffee.
As you level up your podcast game with Squawking Dead, level up your coffee game.
Let's go.
Phineas Coffee roasts each bag to order, which means it will have optimal power when it reaches your doorstep. For coffee veterans, there's a bourbon barrel-aged coffee from Guatemala. And for you coffee novices, like Sharon D, Blazy Gardner, they have a cold brew with chocolate and toffee flavors. Go to phineascoffee.com and use the promo code SquawkingDead to get 10% off your next purchase. And now back to Squawking Dead.
And we're back. Wasn't that a great commercial? Hey, whoosh. Anyway, I like Phineas coffee. I do. I really do. It's so good, actually. It's funny because I actually subscribe to this other coffee company also. And I was like, it's like cheating on your girlfriend. Like Phineas coffee is like the hot new thing. And like the one I do is like, it's fair trade.
Oh my
and all
God,
that
someone
stuff.
meme this. Someone meme this with the guy who's like looking at the other chick.
But it's coffee.
Someone meme this quick.
I'm cheating on my coffee company with another coffee company. Oh, and hey, throughout this entire month, I think for select days, we'll be having a sale in our merch store. When you head over to squawkingdead.com, click the main menu on the top left and just click merch. The discount will already apply. It's $14 t-shirts and up to 35% off everything else in the store.
I got this one for $14.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that shirt, which you designed, that art silhouette-based design.
That's my art.
For season 2 of The Walking Dead World Beyond. How lovely is that? Going to the sale and buying the merch is the perfect opportunity to get it before you come to That's My Viewing Party, the Walking Dead series finale viewing party that will end all viewing parties, because we will be selling merch at the viewing party. It's going to be for a certain price. It's going to be regularly priced for your pleasure. But when you buy it on sale in our merch store, it'll be significantly less because of the sale. Just a thought. There are more designs available in our merch store than there will be in the viewing party. However, we will be making available the new one of the new logo designs and the new art design. And I cannot wait to receive it next week because I'm going to steal one of those for myself. And I'm just raring to go. It takes the season 11 art design that we have been selling and just takes it to a whole nother level. But I just can't wait to see it. So yay. I can't wait for you to see it at the viewing party. If you are attending the viewing party, let us know in the comments or in a rating. RateThisPodcast.com/SquawkingDead. Just let us know that you're going to the viewing party. That's it. That's all we want to know.
Say something.
Say something. Yes. And if so, seek us out because I want to know you're going to be there. I don't even know who's going to be there. It's crazy. Let's talk about this episode. What episode are we talking about? The Walking Dead's
episode 22.
22nd episode of its 11th final season, titled Faith. You like a laugh.
Faith.
I know. Faith. Yeah, I get it out of my system before I started watching it. You gotta now you're done. Now it's still in your head. Okay, anyway, I said this like an accursed sailor. The water looks very still. Like, there's nothing to talk about in this episode. There's a couple things, but it's not going to take too long, right? Right, guys? And then Rachel
Shut your
says,
face.
that's exactly what she said.
I just want to say that I watched a large chunk of this episode with Michael James Shaw sitting right next to me, so I don't remember a whole lot of it. Like,
She was just like this the whole time, just staring at him.
like he was literally right next to me.
That's exactly what it's going to get to. Rachel, you said that if we talk about it before the show, we're never going to bring it up, but maybe we found the golden nugget opportunity where we could talk about this.
Because Charity wasn't here yet when we talked about it the first time.
So the curse still stands. Okay.
It's true. It's true.
So how did that all go? So first of all, to give everybody like a framing of how this, so, well, obviously we're at the camp. I was already on the road on the way home. Oscar, who runs the camp, Oscar Rodriguez III, that's going to come up later in this episode. You guys did a live watch of the present episode Sunday, and then afterwards you watched the next episode on AMC Plus. Is that how it went down?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
we
so
watched
during
21.
that,
We watched 21, and then we watched the premiere premiere of 22 on AMC Plus.
Gotcha. So to give a little bit more framing on what the camp is Walking Dead people sometimes go there. Namely, some of the bigger names are Josh Hamilton, OK McQuarrie, Cooper
Paola.
Andrews. It was like Jerry, Cooper Andrews, Paola Lazaro, and
Teo.
Michael James Show. Teo Rap Olsen. How could I forget Teo? Now he's going to know that I forgot about him unless I edit it. And Teo Rap Olsen. I'm not going to get away from this. No.
Some other cool people are there too.
And Omid Abtabi.
Oh, Omid Abtabi.
Who told Rachel and I that he listened to one of our shows in season 7.
Get out of here.
Yep.
I wish I...
Oh no, where was it? One where we talked trash about fear?
I immediately panicked and I'm like, fuck, which one?
The one with Howard, obviously. The one where Howard bites it.
He said it was 7:10 or 7:12.
Either 10 or 12, yeah.
Which is the one where I think he bites it.
10 was the one where June stood up to him at the very end, because that's Charlie's episode. And then 12 is Sonny Boy when he gets tossed off the roof.
Oh, we would have had really good stuff to say during that episode, actually. That was one of the better episodes.
He would have seen me
We
freaking out. I was livid.
Yeah, we reassured him that we were very angry that they killed Howard off so quickly.
We were.
He agreed.
DJ Qualls of Z Nation fame was also there, and I got to hang out with Robert Hayes all weekend.
And Rachel's still thirsty. Just wanted to say,
who played Wells in The Walking Dead, which was pretty cool. He's a really good, nice guy.
Oh, right. You were his like volunteer handler.
I was his handler.
You handled him.
No, I didn't.
This
no,
is, he might see this. Cut.
don't,
Just like
no,
DJ Qualls might
that.
not see this. Rachel just drinks a swig of water. That's not making it
fun to edit for you.
Margot Bingham, our beloved Max Mercer, was also there.
Surprise visit from her, which
cool,
is awesome. Moving on. So as part of the viewing party, Oscar sets it up. Michael James Shaw is sitting next to you guys, happens to be, but you take it away. Frame the rest of that.
Michael James Shaw was walking around. He was sitting over on one side, and then he walked over and sat on another side. But then he sat next to us for probably 15 or 20 minutes, just watching the episode with us. Unfortunately, he left before it got to the his really good part. Yeah, but he got tissues from Rachel and
But why did he get tissues from Rachel, and what scene specifically? Because I thought that was really cool.
I don't remember. Do you remember Rachel?
Rachel members.
Yeah, it was the scene where Ginger Dude brings Negan out, and then they bring Annie out, and we called the red shirt. We were like, and I remember I leaned forward and I'm like, does Annie have a red shirt on?
Can't tell.
And then Ezekiel comes out and is like, has his arms out or whatever, and he's like, shit, yeah, it was cute. And he's like, could I have some tissues? I'm like, yes you can, Michael James Shaw.
He was like, you guys are crazy, because we were talking about Annie being a red shirt. He's
and
like
Linda
giggling.
turned
you guys are crazy.
Yeah, Linda turned around and she says to me, she's like, are you still crying? And I'm like, no, you're crying. But the funny thing is, it was actually Michael James Shaw sniffling.
I thought isn't that so sweet? And he has such a different perspective than we do watching the show. I always feel that like actors have a level of detachment from the experience that we have.
They see the guts, right? Like they see how it's made. So it is different.
So it's like there's a little distance, but then to hear that, it's like, oh wow, he really felt that. And to be fair, he's not in the scene, but
Cooper Andrews, he came on stage after the episode was over, and they were talking about filming and things like that. But then Cooper also said that it's not often that the actors get to watch the audience react to their work, and that it's very gratifying to them, or to him, to be able to sit and watch it with us and see how we reacted to what happened here and what happened there. He was really, really sweet. And of course, he was holding his little dog the whole time, which was adorable.
So cute.
It was so cute.
such a big man holding a tiny dog.
His little tiny dog.
Right.
But yeah, he was very sweet, and just was like, thank you guys for letting us watch this with you. It was like, awesome. Yeah, it was. I wish we'd filmed it, but again, we were...
You're welcome.
Is what was said, right? It was like, you're welcome. All at once. He's like, oh, I should do this more often. So gratifying.
If they're looking back on thinking about filming those episodes, that was really close to the end of filming for them, and it wrapped up a time in their life. So like I could really see that, no matter what, being a really emotional time for whoever's watching. It's emotional for us because we love the show and we've loved it for so long. And for what we've seen out of our interviews, a lot of the people that we've interviewed have watched the show prior to being on it and loved it and loved it for what it was. And so there's that viewpoint from them too. But I also imagine it's like when you leave a job and then you like think about back on working with those people and how much you miss your friendships with them, and you'll never be that close again, because that's just how life is, right? Like life gets in the way and you lose touch with those people, and you're maybe not as close with them as you used to be. And I think it's really easy for that to happen to them too. So they must relish in conventions just as much as we do, because it's time for them to get together with their family too, which I think is really cool.
It's like leaving the job and coming back.
Yeah.
It being okay too, not weird.
Yeah, I think it's nice. It's
right?
Nice, right? It's a nice moment.
Or leaving high school and coming back to see, hey, like, the administrators, like if you're friendly with them. But then if you keep coming back, it's like, ooh, that's awkward.
I have to say, they, Cooper and OK especially, obviously are so fan oriented, because not only did they come to your viewing party, but they left your viewing party and came to the viewing party at Nick and Norman's to say hi to everyone there, which is
you
just
were there at.
Incredible. And they took pictures with us. They like took time to walk around the restaurant. They didn't have to do that. That was a no obligation situation, and it was so kind of them to do that, because they know that we love them and that we love the show. It was just really special. The whole weekend I have a lot of fond memories of. Obviously I got to spend time with you guys, but
I do too.
But
Same.
those are moments that really, like, it took me aback from kind of where we were, and just kind of let me look at the whole situation and really appreciate what everyone is going through with these episodes.
Well done, Bridget. You framed that very well. So we got an understanding for that. No, I had to step back from myself and go, I don't have to say shit after that. Which I usually do.
The bossiness is just taking over everywhere, guys. I write this podcast now too.
Bridget's gonna do the intro next week. Watch how I make her do the. This is how much I boss around.
Hi, I'm Bridget.
Do the intro. Do it. Better squawk song.
Hi, I'm Bridget. Have you been bitten by a zombie?
Get the fuck away from me. Here, Squawking Dead.
I can get you compensation.
Right. I can get you compensation, quote unquote, for the audio podcast. Sharon, he looks awesome today because I had given her, and it's not to toot my own horn, but now I am backhandedly.
Shouldn't we be tooting Evelyn's horn? Really?
Yeah.
I talked to Evelyn about 2 months prior to this.
I knew about this the whole time too.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody. I was such a good boy. I spoke to Evelyn about. So she had bought herself a new laptop, and I said, "What are you going to do with your MacBook?" And she said, "Oh, I was going to give it in to get a little bit back, like $100 back for her towards her new laptop as a rebate." And I said, and she's like, I'm not going to do it. And I was like, you know what? Would it be okay if I just formatted this and sent this to Sharon to you? Because we've been having a lot of trouble with recording, and since it's only going to be $100, and if you want, I can give you the $100. She said, no, And I said, I'll format it. I'll send it over to her. She can personalize it for herself. She can start transfer things over if she wants to. You could just use it separately. A Chromebook for pleasure and a MacBook for work, like editing and stuff. And then she says, yeah. And then I just kept all the educational stickers on there in the back, and it comes with a case and everything. Says, as you can see and hear, it's working out quite well so far. And I'm beating the shit out of her stream right now because we stopped the recording for the unedited pre-show and we started it again. I paused her uploads. Things have been working great so far. I don't care about bad luck. Fuck you people. It's working, and it's working better than it ever has been, ever since the history of her coming on the show, and maybe a little bit before. So I invite the gods to fuck with me right now.
No,
I invite them.
Take it back, and thank you, Evelyn.
I will clip this out and send this to her, and she's very happy that we could all have a better life because she's very happy that she now has a husband that could actually be in bed with her.
Yeah.
At some point in life.
I feel like I was ruining your marriage. I'm sorry.
No, this show ruins my marriage.
I'm a homewrecker.
Wrecker Sharon. Yeah, of course you can have my MacBook. Maybe I can have my husband back.
Fair trade.
She is real. I assure you she's real. Let's go off the heels of last week's episode.
Sure,
Why won't you believe me?
The hologram that you sent to meet Bridget.
It's good money, right? Like,
The paid actor.
money well spent.
Paid actor.
I say it's worth it. Cut to next scene. All right. So speaking of next scenes, let's go through this episode. I want to get general impressions really because I could see this episode being not being everybody's favorite cup of tea.
I don't know what to say. The first time we watched it was in a room full of people. I cried my face off. I don't even know if I remember the episode because I was crying so fucking hard. And
Through
then
a veil of tears.
seriously,
sniffles.
like I could not stop crying.
Why was that? I'm just curious.
Just
The
feeling
warden.
all the fucking emotions, knowing I was going to be leaving everybody, and then the ending is coming near, and just fucking everything. Fuck you. You're trying to make me cry again. I know you, and you're just fuck you. It's so hard.
It's because I love you so much. And say what you feel, Rachel. Say it.
No, just
Tell me.
just all the emotions, just
you tell
feeling
me?
everything.
Being at the camp, having to leave everybody the next day, you know it's coming, and then the show is ending, and you know it's coming, and
Yes. Just this
I figured I'd help you
impending-
out a little bit.
Just like this feeling of impending doom. I know nothing's going to happen when the show ends, but I feel like I'm losing everything.
That really affected some of my previous episode watches.
Sweetie. Oh, we can't even hug you right now, and I really wish that I could.
And maybe this is a good question to ask in context because I had my moment the couple episodes prior where like it was affecting my watch. I was like, oh, be better, Walking Dead. Well, it's the end. Shouldn't you be better than this? In the context of your impression for this episode, did that factor in a good or bad way
Like I said, I don't even remember the episode.
because of it?
Yeah.
I don't think it affected me in a negative way by any means. If anything, it's really forcing me to like pay attention and cling on to these little pieces that we're getting as stories are wrapping up and things are being circled back to. There's lines in this episode in particular that really reminded me of other things. Seeing Luke again and all that kind of stuff is really wrapping some stuff up for me. And so I'm kind of trying to just cling on to those with such fury, just really trying to cling on to every last little bit that we get with these episodes because I'm sad, I'm sad for a lot of different reasons. And I think a lot of it has to do with fear. I'm going to cry now. You guys suck.
Like fear as a concept rather than Fear the Walking Dead.
Not Fear the Walking Dead, but fear as a concept, as a thing, as an emotion, because we don't know where we're going after this. The podcast, like we're going to work
House
really
of
hard.
the Dragon, obviously.
We're going to really work hard to stay together and to cover the spinoffs and all of that kind of stuff. But it's like, once the proper show is gone, it's like, where does it go? Are the spinoffs successful? Do we get to do this for many more years, or does this fizzle off? Or do I get to go back to Georgia? Are there still conventions that are drawing people in? Or does this become where I'm suddenly in my 40s and I'm paying to see these people at like state fairs because that's the level of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you just
Shatner
like
fest. I don't know.
Yeah, you just don't know where it's gonna go, and so I think what a lot of it is, I've always had so many struggles with like finding consistency in my life, and especially when it came to family. And now that I found you guys, it's like hard to think that it could disappear. It's just.
Stop.
It just
You're
brings
getting
up a
me because
lot.
I thought of this also
But
on the way home.
none of us are
A
going to
little bit.
disappear from each other. This is not going to stop. I'm not going to stop Zooming with Rachel every night just because the show's over.
I'm gonna give you a threat, okay? This better not end. Watch this it go. This better not end because you're gonna be seeing a whole lot more of me than you'd like if this all ends, because it'd be like, hey, I actually have a life now. And so it's like, hey guys, when are we Zooming, everybody? Guys, where are you going?
Dave's just like showing up at my house all the time.
We have to find us a
something
new
to do.
show to cover.
Hey guys, hey,
Give David something to edit.
I'm flying to Michigan, Rachel, just for you, for nothing. What are we doing? Who cares? No, don't worry. You'll be like, please
I'll show you around
don't
my
come.
town.
Yeah, and then be
time
like,
to-
don't ever come back again.
Time to start that Supernatural rewatch retrospective.
Sorry. Again, sorry, not a Supernatural fan. I might try it again.
I just chose it for the length.
Yeah.
15 seasons of content, baby.
Cover 15 seasons. Dave, you're
In
never going
3
to be out of
months.
work.
Please don't make me cover something I don't like currently.
I'm not doing this to be like a gut punch to anyone. I just, from my perspective, I think that's what a lot of it is like there's fear of the unknown, and I'm happy that in a way, I am happy the show is ending because it can't go on forever. That's bad writing. Speaking of 15 seasons, it's like.
But Simpsons is topical, like it dives into topical stuff from the time.
And not every season was a winner, so there were a lot of losers in there.
Then it becomes a show you watch just to watch. And
and I've really enjoyed my time, and I'm glad that this story is getting some ending. I mean, obviously, I'm thankful for that because one, I'm tired of people being like, "This show's still on." Makes me want to like punch someone in the dick.
No, it's not, you fuckface. Finally, you got it right.
It's gonna give us the option to go into other stories, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm hoping that we see success in this greater universe because I think it has a lot of potential. And I just, and I love you guys, so I don't.
Yeah. Well, I love you too. And on top of all that, this main series is always going to be in some way referential to subsequent series too.
We're
always going to be looking out for it. Yeah, we still have fear, I guess. And on that note, I don't know that we brought this up, Fear the Walking Dead, but there have been rumors floating around that season 8 will be its last season. They're just rumors so far, but even though some people have said, oh, it's substantiated, but I think it's going to be one of those things where if it performs very well, it could well continue. Mm-hmm. Although there are some people who've been, proposing theories that season 8 is going to be the last one because they're going to find a way to reroute it to one of the other series or something like that, or even the end of this series. Who knows?
I'm okay with that as long as it's June moving on to another show. Totally down with that.
Oh, what if June gets a spinoff, huh?
Totally down with that.
June Dory is in South America. Like Daryl's in France.
Why not?
Rick is in God knows where.
Let's send someone to Australia.
Wow, that's a long distance.
Maybe the dingo ate your baby.
Dead dingo.
I would love if they would do Typhoon as a spinoff.
And wouldn't it be great if they somehow
so
incorporated one of our characters in the process somehow? Even if it's just tangentially or cameo or something like that.
I would really love it though. It's such
nice
a cool concept
tie-in.
to be in a different country that has such strict gun control. How do you kill zombies if you don't just have readily available guns?
Now, bear in mind, I have not read the book. I really should probably, but
it's a great read.
In.
But it's all about only their military as guns. So there's just like much less resource wise, and so then they end up using like a lot of swords and spears. I don't know. It's just cool. And then you add in variants into that. I mean, that could be like a really cool thing to take a look at. But we'll see where it goes.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't think of that. Which also popped up in this episode.
Yes.
So I want to touch on that now since we're here. We have this whole subplot of Oceanside meeting up with Jules and Luke, who were outside the camp at the time, But Rachel was also with them. Rachel herself kind of goes down with the ship, being the leader of Oceanside. She goes with the rest of them to give Luke and Jules cover or time to escape and find somebody to tell them what's happened. But in the process, the Commonwealth soldiers are after them. They're just because they're obviously stragglers. And it seems like they're gutting up so that they can either, and this is something I want to ask you, what do you think they are doing right now? Are they heading towards Oceanside, or are they just gutting up so they can get away and disappear amidst the herd? I want to ask that first.
Well, I mean, I definitely think they're leaving there because they specifically said we need to get away from Oceanside. Maybe they're heading back towards the Commonwealth or back towards Alexandria because they don't know Alexandria has been taken over. I guess maybe that would be their first thought for safety. Wouldn't Alexandria be the closest to them? And I mean, they don't know that Alexandria has been taken over. They could lead the herd right to Alexandria.
Yeah, I thought they were going either to Alexandria or Hilltop. I don't know why, but I thought they were going to one or the other, like familiar ground. Not that there's like much left. The thought even popped into my head of you're trying to get away from the Commonwealth, who knows where all of your communities are.
Well, and they know that Hilltop already fell because
would you
of the
go
banners.
back to the old kingdom? I thought about that. Would you go somewhere that they don't know about?
Or the kingdom that they just found.
That's true.
Alternatively, sure.
There's a couple different options, but yeah.
But either way, not Oceanside.
I feel like
with
2 episodes left, they're going to try to reunite everyone as much as possible. So my feeling is that they're going to lead that herd to Alexandria.
You're probably right.
Because as they were talking, they had mentioned that that's where Kelly was going to, and it's obviously okay because blah, 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 they're promised. But of course, what's in the air is knowing that the Commonwealth reneged their promise to Oceanside. Oh, some of these jackboots came in, took over, see? And then, so it has to be going on in the back of Aaron's mind that they could have done the same to Alexandria. But if they have a herd, one logistical thing that we have to bear in mind to watch in the last 2 episodes, unfortunately, is that Oceanside was already far away enough by car, which is why it took us so long to feel like we got to Oceanside. So taking a herd all the way up a driving distance that was already very, very far away, we have to be able to feel that.
They have played fast and loose with time and distance all of this season. People have just been teleporting and showing up here and showing up there. So I don't feel like that's going to be any kind of deterrent as to where they take the herd. The timelines and the traveling distances is just, they haven't mattered. It's just been like, okay, they're here. And all of a sudden, okay, they're here.
M.A. Quarry. But at the same time, they tried to sneak it in there. No, but like this is something we've known and we've seen, at least with this, because it was always never really clear how far away Hilltop was from Alexandria or the Commonwealth from the Hilltop. But we did know for certain that Oceanside, hella far. So this is something to watch out for in the next episode or the finale even. How long is it going to take for these guys on foot in a herd, which the guts will eventually not work also. So that's another thing to watch out for. And on top of that, what I wanted to get to was the variant that picked up Lydia's knife that she dropped, which we got to see in this episode. I didn't have any real thoughts going on in my mind as to what will eventually happen with that. But did you guys think of anything?
Well, my fear is that Walker going to attack them in the herd or the Commonwealth soldiers? Is this going to end up being like the enemy of my enemy? Or is this going to be like, this is going to totally screw with us? But also I felt like Lydia was playing a little too fast and loose with this situation. She's almost like too comfortable with walkers because she's been around them so much of her life, which makes sense. But I almost said okay, and it's Elijah. Elijah, not okay. Elijah, was like, why did you run at it? You didn't know. And Jerry steps in like, oh, it's fine. You can both kill one next time.
He said, okay, you can take the next one. And I said, M.A. Quarry.
And I get like he thought it was like a childish rivalry, but Elijah has a fair concern in this. She is playing a little too fast and loose because this is clearly her idea. That's what we're allowed to believe because the camera pans her face as she looks over. Yeah. And so it's clearly her idea, which like good on you. It's a great idea if there isn't a variant in the herd, which there clearly is. And that's obviously something you need to be really concerned about. But it's kind of like, well, it's too new. So like, I'm not really worried about it. I'll know the difference. I'll be able to tell.
You would think over all these years and all the, honestly, thousands of walkers that Lydia's been around, she would have come across another variant.
But they kind of show it here, like, what if the variant is only opportunistic, right? Like, what if there was never an opportunity in the ones that Lydia was around? Because this one, she drops the knife. It's not like this one stops and picks up a rock or grabs a stick or shows any indication until there is an opportunity in front of it to pick up the knife.
Also, did it have eagle eyes? Dude, it was like as soon as the knife was dropped, it was like.
Did it trip or did it like trip and then see the knife?
I think it fell.
It fell.
Yeah.
On
Okay,
top
so
of
it
the knife.
fell and it happened. I thought it was like intentional. I thought it like intentionally fell so it could pick up the knife, and I was like, "Damn, dude!"
But I mean, we're talking years and years and years and years and thousands of walkers that Lydia's been around. I got to imagine she's dealt with variants before, so I would trust her judgment, I guess is what I'm saying. I think she would be able to pick them out.
I'm not like pro unnecessary exhibition, but I guess I would like appreciate if they would have like mentioned that.
Exposition, you mean?
Well, this is definitely new. You know what I mean?
Exhibition.
They're giving us throwbacks to season 1 walkers. You know what I mean?
Yes,
They're like, oh yeah, we've seen this before. Remember that?
Sorry.
And so this wasn't. I don't believe that this was a plan all along to include these variants.
No, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, definitely
I just am
not.
laughing about how stupid I am. Yes, you're right. No, you're right. I'm so dumb.
Okay, it was
Like
funny.
the mullet
Now
thing
you're
all over
dwelling, and
again.
it's not funny. Okay, stop it.
It's the mullet thing all over again, Dave. That's fine. He just has a mullet now. It's fine.
Just as a mullet, yeah.
What?
You've got like competing interests too. You have Lydia, who's probably trying to steer the walkers a la Whispers, and then you have the 2 Commonwealth Jeeps flanking it. So of course they're bumping around everywhere. Lydia drops her knife because one of the walkers hits her hand and just gliding into her, and they're trying to guide the herd while they try to guide the herd, and then of course the walker falls, sees the knife, and it's accurate. It's like, it's not one of those you have to suspend disbelief to see, oh, walkers don't usually fall.
Right. Yeah, they do.
They're very coordinated, and they are usually.
Oh
and they
my
are really
God,
usually,
is that what
but
I sound like?
It's yeah, I know, and I have to tell you, stop apologizing for being dumb. But
It is after dark.
but it is kind of cool to see those competing motivations for the walkers and seeing how that plays out. It's not for nothing. I like that they were careful and thoughtful with that scene. I feel like what a good return for Oceanside would be, like them also, just like they saved Hilltop in season 8. I'd like to see them rise up and do something with that and save
walkers, because
save the
they're all
common.
dead.
Oh no, you think so?
They're going to be the herd.
You don't think it's like another work camp?
They just said they took over the camp. They don't know what happened to anybody in the camp or anything because they left. They could have packed up all of the Oceansiders and taken them to another work camp already. So like they could already be in Alexandria or something, and we just haven't seen them yet.
We
Right,
do
in
know
time
that it
and
was
distance.
Lance, though.
Right,
There. We do know
exactly.
that it was Lance with them. So what would
Maybe
Lance
they're at the
want
farm.
them to do?
They're growing heroin.
I
Remember that, guys? Remember the poppies?
yeah,
Do you
the poppy fields.
I just don't care about that anymore.
I mean,
Where
I
did
was
that
also
go?
thinking like Oceanside is a source of food. Yes, I mean there's fish in
or
the
whatnot.
ocean. Like, why would they not
Well-
utilize that space to bring in more food?
Didn't Pamela want that to become like a resort area for the Commonwealth?
Okay, M.A.
Remember,
Quarry. I
because
would
she was
love
like,
to see that.
people would love to come to the beach. Remember, it was like that whole thing on the beach.
You're
How
right,
she was
when
like,
they visited.
it was like, and I was like, this is weird. And also, when did you get your toes done? And who the hell did that
Right.
for you? Like, whose job is it to give pedicures in the apocalypse? Because what a sucker. That is the worst.
Would Lance put them to work building the resort to make Pamela happy? Because that's like what he was all about, apparently.
Maybe. They're building a cruise ship.
We know Lance was painting her toes.
Scrap my rising up
Ew.
thing. I kind of want to see that. Like, I want to see what Pamela's resort would look like now that you've mentioned it.
And then what the show does is they launch this as a real resort that you can stay at. And bam, suddenly they're in the money. I would go
AMC,
there.
hey.
I would
Yeah.
go there, by the way.
Do it.
Finder's fee.
would
Let's fund this
100%
podcast somehow.
I would
Hey,
pay to
AMC,
stay
buy us a
100%.
coffee. We'll tell you your great idea.
100%.
Meanwhile, they're like, cease and desist, please. Cease and desist.
We'll call it Squawking Shores. I just want the name there. That's all we want. We don't want money.
I like it.
Just give us, and it'll have our logo, but then it'll be Shores in whatever fancy font you want. But here's the thing. I'm taking this a little seriously now. Wouldn't it be ironic if it's like a men's resort, right? Because for all the the issues they had with men, the Oceansiders, Simon killing all of them, etc., that they don't let men in, and then they have to cater to men, all men. It'd be like a very interesting.
Horrible.
I would allow that.
Ew.
That would be so
disgusting.
horrible.
But then it would make the actual turning over, actually conquering it, like a little feminist spark in everybody, a little spring in everybody's step. Actually, eventually do rise up and not kill everybody, but they're like, no, we're not doing this. Bye, men. See ya.
Bye,
Do
man.
your own
Light your own
pedicures.
cigars.
Right, do your own mani petties.
One of the things I really liked about this episode, we actually touched on every storyline. Nobody was left out. This wasn't where we only had two separate stories going on or just one bottle-like episode. Every storyline was touched on in some way. Other than the kids, we saw almost every major character in this episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did love that.
In ways that we haven't in the last few, too. Oh, and we also killed a lot of people in the last few. Sebastian, Lance. We took away a couple of subplots, evil subplots, out of the way.
Calhoun.
Oh, yeah, Roman Calhoun, right. Oh, hey, well, I'm glad you said that because Shira's still in the wind. We don't know that she was made into fresh meat for Sebastian, really. So that's still a question.
Where is Shira?
We could leave that there. Because what allies does she have left now? Is the question.
None.
No one that we know
Right.
of, but could
Yeah,
be other
right.
players in the game.
That's an interesting wild card, right? Keep that in the back of our mind, along with not unlike the heroin farm, which I don't care for, really. It's like we got the Mother Puss bucket out of it. It was good illustration of
Mother.
what Lance has in store. When you see Negan get a glimmer of, I don't want to say Neganing, because at first it was more like, is he going to help our group with the map, the perimeter, the 2 on the perimeter and 4 on the inside, whatever. And then when he sees Annie having issues, you get that sense of like, oh, is he going to stop cohesion for the sake of Annie? And that, I thought of Rachel immediately. I'm like, that's a Rachel thing to do. She's like, fuck that. I'm going to do the thing. And like, now I wonder what Rachel would do if faced with a scenario like that. If it's my family versus everybody around here are counting on me. I'm wondering what she would choose. This is a very particular situation for you. So like, I'm wondering what you thought of that scenario and if it was challenging to think about.
Oh.
Because we talk about you putting family first, usually.
I was confused, to be totally honest. She needs a break. What? You've been there a while now. I didn't understand what happened. Did I miss something? I mean, I was crying pretty hard, so I might have missed something.
The second time around too. Well, Bridget, what was your estimation of what was going on when Negan sees Annie?
I don't know. Like they were kind of being a little rougher to her. One, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
And they know that, right? They know that
I
they
would
are
assume
aware
they
that
know.
she's
She would have
pregnant.
said that. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't mention this in the last episode, but it also really bothered me that they injected her with a drug
I said that too.
while
Yeah.
she was
And you guys are
pregnant.
like talking about dog, and I'm like,
That really bothered
oh,
me.
you weren't
also.
there. Were you not there for that episode? I don't remember now. I think not.
Maybe not.
No, I think Bridget.
Yeah.
I missed one of the episodes. Yeah, so that really bothered me. And then it was weird because I was like, dude, just give him the freaking map. Like, it's really not that, like, literally you could do that while you're doing what you're doing right now. You just
Yeah.
grab it and hand it behind you. It's not that big of a deal. But I know that it was like to further the story. And maybe it was just because we haven't seen enough development between Annie and Negan. I know he loves her and I know that he's worried about her. Like I've seen that. It just didn't translate as well in that moment to me.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what I'm feeling too, because I didn't understand. I thought maybe something happened that I missed, and that was why he felt the need to step up and be like, she need to give her a break. I'll take on extra workload. If you
I felt like
let
it
her
was
give
fine, but it was
give
just
a
kind of like
break.
clunky writing.
Are you talking about like why he didn't hand the map back when he
Yeah.
was? I think it was because because they were like pretty roughly manhandling her and stuff. And I think it just took his
guess I didn't
attention so
see
hard.
that.
He's so worried.
I did.
He's so worried about her.
Yeah, they were tough with
and the
her.
baby.
Okay.
And they were like throwing her on the ground and like really roughly manhandling her. And I think he was just so scared that everything scared as in Negan being scared. But you know what I mean? He is. He's scared for her. He is scared for his baby.
Okay, I think my vision was blurred during that because I didn't see all the manhandling.
Yeah, I mean they were grabbing her because she was calling out to him too, and they were grabbing her and threw her on the ground.
That was afterwards. That was after he spoke up. I'm saying what sparked him to even say anything in the first place. That's what I'm confused by. Once they punched him and then she went running over there, then they started getting really rough with her. But why did he feel the need to say anything initially?
Because he told Ezekiel he was going to light the spark, right? Like he was going to.
But he needed to pass the map off first. So pass the map off and then start shit.
But in order to make himself the martyr and start the people to revolt, he saw his chance, like, oh, let me do it here while Annie's right here. I'm going to be worried for her, and maybe that'll start the spark.
Damn, see this dude's living in like 3032 and I'm back here in like 1989, like like not even thinking about that.
But I think he was genuinely concerned because he did not hear Zeke at all. It would have been a half a second to just pass that map off and go with the plan. But he was focused on what was happening. That's why I was so confused. I'm like, what was going on that he was so focused on her in that moment?
Well, there's his lack of paying attention to Zeke is an informing choice, meaning I'm not paying attention to anything else but what's happening here. And he sees her struggling. That's really what it was. She's not doing well. First of all, he's like, what should I do here? He completely mind erases the map. Squirrel, ADHD, squirrel. I see the thing. It's like, that's why I brought you up. I was like, I instantly thought of you because like, there's nothing you've said this, I feel like I'm quoting you here. There's nothing in the world that's going to get me, between me and my babies. You know, like me and my kid. There's nothing else that matters. That's it. I've written a song about that. Maybe I'll play it one day. But there's nothing else. Blinders. And your heart starts racing. You're wondering, what can I do in this moment? And what I thought of, so now Sharon, you brought up, he's going to be the martyr in this instance right now. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I like that you said that. My thought was more like, if I create a big enough diversion to where they need two of them, I'd give her a little bit of a break. And this is the thing. This is what I'm thinking. He's like, in this moment, he's being so sacrificial, but obviously for not the right reasons, meaning like, yes, the right reason is my wife, but also if I hold back and not do this thing, we can make sure that everybody, including Annie, can get out safely, you know, figure out the guards, take them out, blah, blah, blah. We are on our way, etc. He's not thinking of that right now because he doesn't want to risk anything for that baby. He would risk him getting punched out, maybe even killed, probably not killed. I think he's thinking I'm not going to get killed in this moment. He's thinking if I occupy these two guys, two of which did come by, and he thought he could kick up enough of a ruckus that they won't focus on her and she can take a breather from her having a rough time, enough to be like, okay, that's your break. They're focused on me now. They'll take me away in chains. And then you could take 5 and then, I mean, obviously continue working, but give her a tiny bit of break so she could sit down. I think that's what I got from that he's being dumbly sacrificial right now just so she can take a break.
Do you think that Negan is subconsciously worried about like a karmic retribution because karma is a bitch, Negan?
Because this is what should happen, right? Yeah. As you're watching the entire thing again.
He's had it repeatedly thrown in his face that he shouldn't be a father and he shouldn't be allowed to have this life. So
this is where I deserve to be.
Right.
You know, like he said stuff like that too.
Do you think he is really afraid that something is going to happen to Annie because of what he's done in the past?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because of
and
what
also,
he's done.
I think, I think
okay, I see what you're
definitely
saying.
because of that. But also, I guess, you know, while you guys were talking through all of that, I guess he could be also trying to make up for the past too, though, with his wife. He was not a good husband.
But Sharondy's thinking more along the lines of mystical. I say mystical, but I mean like karma is a real thing in the world, and this is what should happen.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I
could,
agree.
But should.
To probably some degree, there is that, but I also feel like there's like another karmic aspect to it, right? It's like the thought that like, do you? And I don't necessarily believe this, but like, do you manifest that stuff in the world? Almost like self-sabotage, right? Like you feel like you deserve it, so are you going to cause it to happen?
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I make this happen, it will happen.
Yeah, because he was a really bad husband. He owns up to that. Just like he owns up to the fact that he deserves to be there and his wife and baby don't. And he got very touchy when Ezekiel said all that stuff about Benjamin and how you took my family. You don't deserve to have a family. And he said, well, I'm going to be a father. He was very defensive in that moment. He was very touchy. So there's definitely something there where he's got doubts and concerns about what's going to happen.
Right. And just dropping a note on that very moment where he's like, you do you, I'll do me, and I will be a father. So they play the season 8-7 Negan theme in the backgrounds, which gives you the feels that, oh, he's getting a Negan. Negan's going to be, which is something we brought up in the last episode. Is Negan done Neganing? And I was like, oh no, the theme music is playing with the guitar, the loose guitar string. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
That was the moment that I was like, he's going to screw over Ezekiel. And I was so angry about it. It's not
I'm glad that you were angry, because when it turns out that happened. But this is a good spot to kind of bring up something. What Negan's intentions were near the end, they're not that clear. And I kind of want to talk about that for a minute. And then we can just do the little jazz thing that we do, bouncing around everywhere. Because it's not 100% clear that Negan set himself up so that Ezekiel can take the shining spotlight. In fact, I don't think it was. One wouldn't be faulted for thinking that, oh, he just did this so Zeke could step up and say, no, hey, everybody stop it. And then no, that's not how he was. I think felt like he was going to be the martyr. He said, you know what? I'll be your example for everybody else. But just like he said to Simon, but just one. Where's my thug life glasses coming from the ceiling?
Oh, that was very, I thought that was very clear that that's exactly what his intention was.
Yeah.
He was killing himself to be the martyr, and the warden noticed, shit, this is a martyr situation. I'm not going to let this happen.
Right.
Because when Ezekiel comes up,
killing his wife too.
Yeah. When Ezekiel comes up in between, Negan's like, what are you doing?
This is not how I imagined.
And he's
my
like, I don't know, which I loved. I love that he's like, I don't know. Because I was like, yeah, right, dude. Like, you don't know what you're doing right now.
But wasn't that a great choice to say, I don't know?
Yeah, I love that.
Because that's like Ezekiel in a nutshell.
Just doing what he feels is right. He doesn't know why, but he's
and standing up. Standing up, this is the right thing to do. And also, did anyone ever think that like Ezekiel would be standing up for Negan?
No.
On top of everything, right?
Like, no, never.
Was it Negan or was it more Annie?
It's technically Annie, but you have to think.
He probably would have let Negan die.
But you have to think, like, if he didn't, if he really
did look pretty horrified. He did look pretty horrified.
He did.
Even just Negan.
Yeah.
Sure,
Are we gonna stand there and let somebody get killed in cold blood?
Yeah.
Am I ready? I'm ready to be that guy, right? Because it's a great foil for what the warden is preparing to do. Oh, I don't care that I'm making a pregnant woman work hard labor, and I don't care if I make a pregnant woman a martyr. And he's thinking, kind of like what his conversation with Negan was before, he's like thinking, I have to do all this horrible, I have to be this horrible shit, kind of like Negan has said classically, in order for everybody to fall in line. He doesn't even flinch when it comes to what Negan would abstain from, which is killing kids, and especially killing preborn kids. Negan would never have done that. And he's thinking, this warden is so much like me that just one is going to be enough. But nah, he's all thug life, and he's like,
Worse.
Nah, fuck that.
I love the staging of this whole scene because it is very reminiscent. It makes you think back to the day will come. The day will come when you won't be, because they're got Negan on his knees. The lights with all the cars around him. You even have a bus in the back, kind of looks like the RV behind him. And they've done this several times this season. They did it with Maggie when Maggie was walking down the railroad tracks, make you think of Terminus.
The road to Terminus.
Right. They did it with Carol when she's got her like the brown jacket on with the episode with Lance, and it made me think of Terminus when she blew up Terminus going through the woods. Each episode they've had a little, not anything glaring, but just a make you feel a certain way about things. Like when I was watching this scene, I was like, man, this is the negative reverse of the lineup.
And to that point, so not only is it great that it's just one, and then it ends up like, what if anything would have been this perfect retribution? And I think even Negan is standing there going, I brought this on to myself before Zeke gets up, even
down to the dead redheaded guy, because they killed Abraham and they killed the warden who was redhead. So even there you go. Well, I was gonna play with that actually, but no, I wasn't gonna say that exactly, but thank you for saying that. I was gonna say, isn't it ironic? Well, isn't it karmic that it was gonna be just Abraham? It was just gonna be Negan, but now it's Negan and Annie. It's Abraham and Glenn. That to that point where he's like, oh shit, no, they can't be this bad. But then it makes you think what Ezekiel said earlier on in the episode. He says,
do you know what you took away from us? I think almost up to that point, Negan has never thought about, maybe he thought about killing Glenn, how badly Maggie wants to kill him for that. And maybe he feels bad for that. But this made him think of, oh, wait, Abraham had a life too. People loved Abraham. It probably made him think of that moment, like, oh, I took away not only a father from a potential child at the time, but I took away another human life too. I took away Abraham. So this is what that's the cost. And isn't it funny, like how we sometimes in our waking life, we put different values on different people. Like, oh, this person sucks. This person's crazy. This person's mentally whatever. And they're worth less or more, depending on how we regard them. But in that moment, human life is a human life and in all its potentiality. That was it's just like you said, it's karmic. And in that moment, I'm sure he'd be raging. But at the same time, he's like, yeah, well, I guess this is the fruit of the spirit. This is the fruit of my harvest. Chicken's coming home to roost. It should end this way, unfortunately. And yet it didn't.
You reap what you sow.
But all because of what? Look, ostensibly it happened because Ezekiel became the king. But the king, that was just some guy, saying some guy things. But like as a king, he like melded the two parts of him that he built up over the course of 12 years, let's say. But then it makes you think of what Judith says in the beginning, mercy over wrath. The nostalgia scenes aren't just for the sake of bringing you back, which I honestly think without them, most of the audience wouldn't key into some of the key parts of each of these episodes that had them in the last trimester. And so when you see that scene, you're supposed to think, Rick showed us that mercy should prevail over wrath. And here's the result.
It did
Somebody
not.
stepped in.
It did not in this episode, by the way. And I thought that was really interesting. That was like the beginning
said mercy
line.
did not prevail?
It did not prevail. Take a look at the first. So that's like one of the first lines of the episode. And the end of the episode, Rosita takes that walker and shoves it in the warden's face because she doesn't get an answer out of him.
I like that. I like you said that.
It didn't prevail.
People are looking in horror too.
The warden wasn't going to show mercy. Well, mercy didn't prevail with him either because he was going to kill everybody. The only thing that stopped him from killing everybody was Daryl killed him. Daryl stabbed him in the back. So he wasn't, mercy did not prevail at all. You're absolutely right, Bridget.
I just thought it was interesting because I got it on the second watch that I heard it, and like really resonated with me because I was like, there is not much mercy in this episode. This is a lot of wrath. This is a lot of anger and wrath that ends up coming out. And
I think it was more the mercy that Ezekiel gave to Negan.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Because he could have let it happen and it would have been quote unquote right that this should happen. He spells it out. He says, did you know what you took? You took a young man just before his fruit has ripened to be something more. You took potential.
Which shout out to Benjamin because they really gloss over him a lot. That was a really pivotal part of Ezekiel's life. That was like such a sad moment. And we really focus on Henry a lot. And so it was nice. It was like refreshing to hear him mention.
Did Negan order them to kill Benjamin? Wasn't that Jared? So I mean, really, but you cannot pin it entirely because Negan didn't go, oh, kill this kid.
But what is Jared's real name?
Negan. I am Negan.
And that was the point of that.
Acting on Negan's behalf.
Exactly. This is not from me. This is from Negan. I get to pass the buck up to this motherfucker. So it's like you can't run away from that. And he built that. He made it so that could happen. And you're right, Sharon. You're 100% right, which is the fun part of breaking down season 8.
Even though Negan never ordered Simon to kill all the heapsters, he still felt responsible. Like he knew it was his responsibility. He caused that to happen, even though he didn't order it. He felt that responsibility.
And he owns that decision by way of his attack on Hilltop.
Yeah.
I feel like that was more Simon disobeying orders because Negan was like only one and Simon killed them all anyway. Yeah. And didn't Negan kill Simon for that?
Simon.
Yes.
He sent him
So he did. He made retribution for what happened. This guy disobeyed orders. How is that? Oh my God, you're making me a Negan apologist. Stop it. How is that Negan's fault?
You should be. That's kind of the point.
That this guy disobeyed orders, and he's like, look, he disobeyed orders. I executed him.
So there's two things at play, which is why I loved covering season 8. One is that it's not the first time Simon disobeyed orders because we know that because all of the Oceanside men were killed and that was Simon's doing. We got clarity on that in season 9 when it came to warning signs. Mm-hmm. But then there were other incidences too. Did he want them to kill Benjamin? No. So when it finally came to be that like Simon reveals his intentions, oh, I could be the man. You get hints of that in the beginning of the season too. Like when Negan is away with Gabriel in the trailer, he's like trying to take over and he fucking ruins everything. He just like Negan's not there. Simon gets to play. Pew, 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 pew. He gets to shoot people. So it finally came to a fever pitch how his philosophy wasn't working. But the whole other side of that coin is, well, now that we've uncorked that genie, I have to own it. I have to own those decisions. And so he just said, you know what? Rather than back down, I'm a double down. And these people are pains in my fucking asses. And I've got other settlements to take care of. So fuck Hilltop. They're done. They're done. They've uncorked a genie and I just have to keep going. Because you know what? That sucks. I'm having a bad day. And then Rick is coming at me with an assault rifle and he can't hit me for shit. Anyway, whatever. It's a whole other conversation which we've had. Okay? You can listen to that conversation. It's hilarious. And we actually talk about the mechanics of a moving target and how most people can't hit a moving target for shit. Mm-hmm. And that's a real thing. So cut Rick some slack, even though he's a police officer with training. Anyway. No, but statistically, police officers with training still don't have great... Anyway, you've heard the whole thing. Probably. Maybe not.
They've been in a zombie apocalypse for all these years. They're doing nothing but hitting moving targets. Granted, they're slowly moving targets, but they're still moving.
They're not running with merchandise like a bank robbery. I'm imagining a guy with a burglars, well, with little eyes cut out.
You're picturing the Hamburglar.
Hamburglar. Exactly what I'm thinking of. Or like those old Dick Tracy cartoons, aging myself. Like they, little tiptoey thing that they do when the robbers get away, when they try to get away. And then they have to full sprint with the wind. And I'm still going. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna change.
Just go.
Change this real quick.
Just move. There's a screen wipe.
Can I just say that we've gotten like some of the best lines in the last couple episodes, arguably of the whole show. I'm not gonna get to the one that ends the episode because that one is bomb. We're gonna save that. That one is so
and
good.
Was ad-libbed. Jesus Christ.
I know. God, what a miracle of a man. The world is broken, but we don't have to be. Just beautiful. And there's another one that's brought up during the court case that I'll bring up in a little bit when we switch gears over there. But just some of this writing has been spectacular. This was one of those lines that I was like, oh my God.
Well,
people
even
talk
Tyler
about
Davis.
Yet I smile, right? But like the world is broken, but we don't have to be. Like that is just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Poor Judith, she said it first in the intro. She just sort of said it. And with more words, too. I guess it takes a moment.
It's just, I don't know.
She just doesn't get enough credit, Judith, you know?
It's just a really good line. The delivery was perfect and it was emotional and heartfelt and it was just great.
I like that it was preceded by, I don't know what I'm doing.
I know. I love that.
Again, like the some guy with the king. Two halves of a whole that forms a little mishmash of a ball, okay, named Ezekiel Sutton, which I like that I know that now. But like even Tyler Davis has his, I kind of like that we had him there, the fruits of his failed revolution. And he was reduced to, which is also informative. It's like, this is how much they've beaten me down, is that I've lost people in an attempt to try to do what you're doing right now. And because this is a character that was a nothing character in 10C. They brought him back to be a revolutionary in 11B. And now here he is again with a full head of hair, denoting the span of time, the year that he's gone away from Founders Day. And like, he is done. And I always thought that in 10C, in the 10C episode, there was a bit of he cited this like almost founding document spiel about what the Commonwealth was in the train car with Princess in the 11C episode. I mean, you're talking about a true believer. And then a little bit later, he's like, fuck, this is not at all what I thought. And of course, the thing that happened was that Trooper Davis, he noticed that these people were being carted away for selfish purposes on behalf of Sebastian, facilitated by Lance. And he's like, this can't go on. And he fought against that and he lost. And then he was sent to another work camp because Pam was like, hey, let's just keep using this playbook. And so, yeah, can you blame him? I'm just bringing this guy back because look at this guy. This guy got paid, and he did such a great job throughout all these different iterations of himself. True believer, revolutionary, and broken man. And you see the strata of what is his downward spiral to seeing a man get broken. So it pairs really well with allowing you to appreciate this episode. Because you could watch this episode and forget about those scenes and be like, I'm not feeling it. But with Tyler Davis there, it was just like, for me, with him there, seeing his journey in those 3 episodes we got to see him, was kind of like, oh, you feel the gravity. I mean, you see Annie, Negan's getting his face punched, so she can, this is my interpretation, so she can take a break. Take a break. I'll get my face punched up and beat up by 2 guys just so you can have a sit down for a little moment because they're a little busy. I like that we got mileage out of this cat. Okay, let's move on to Herschel being found in this building and none of the other children, it seems like.
Okay, so I had to think through this while I was watching the episode because I was like, those are sewers that they walk through, and like all sewers like kind of really look the same, right? So how would they know exactly where to go?
Wait, do you know for certain?
No, but it's just like, how would you know like where to go? So then I thought they must have mapped that out after everything with Carl when all the people hid, and then maybe even painted directions on walls, or everybody just memorized it just in case you would ever need to use it again, which just goes to show how much these people like absorb and take from others. They've taken on the whisperer stuff and use that when it's come in handy, and and the guts thing from a similar perspective, and so this was just another one of those things that like they took from that lesson that they learned about like always having to have a way out, or in this case a way in.
Well, Aaron knew the layout pretty well because he tried to get Maggie out when Glenn was missing. So he was sure that was everyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And let's not forget that the show is trying to get us to feel things too. So like being down there again, the last time they were down there was when Carl was showing that was bit. So they're trying to, they're like me with Rachel, trying to make us cry. Fucking bastards. Yeah, exactly.
Fuckers.
Takes one to know one. Jerk.
Motherfuckers.
Hey, you jerk. I mean, you jerk. Points to self. Audio podcast. We have to narrate. I kind of did feel that moment. Like, oh, I recall that moment with Carl. But like when they were down there in season 8, it was, right? It was clear there were lines of sight to other tunnels. This felt like perversion. Like this felt like wrong. Like there was too much stuff down there.
It made
there was too
me
much
think
shit.
more of when Aaron and Maggie were down there because there were walkers in the sludge and everything. And that was what I didn't think of Carl at all. That wasn't where my mind went at all. My mind went exactly to Maggie and Aaron trying to get out.
I see. Well, and so there you go. And with the walkers that were down there, you wouldn't be faulted for thinking that too. Did you get that feeling of tension once Carol and Maggie went topside? I thought they did a really good job of not making it seem like they could magically slip between the raindrops and not be detected.
I love that the guy caught them. It was so realistic because she like ducked back really quick like shit, and normally in a show it would have been like, oh, whew, she did it fast enough.
right.
He didn't see her when you obviously would have seen her. So I'm like so glad that the guy was like, just like walked so fast down the hallway to like come get her.
And we've all played hide and seek, and we've all had that moment where like, you're like, oh, it's not a good hiding place. Let's hide somewhere else. And then that's when they get you.
It was a good moment. Did you just walk away?
Really?
Did you just
I
walk
was like,
away?
you know what? Nobody's going to take me seriously right now.
So, bye.
It's not. Thanks. Okay. Anyway, but the point of me saying that was that like, it really gave you a sense of tension. Like it might not work out. And I say this again, because I want to make this very clear. Oh, I didn't say this. Now might be a good time to mention what I've been thinking lately. So driving home from the camp for 14 to 16 hours, who knows how long it was, gives you time to think of things. And one of the things that I thought of that's probably going to also make Rachel want to hate me again. One of the things that I noticed after thinking about Lance's spiel to Carol on the way out of the Commonwealth was that he expresses to her, and this is something that's in the comic books, when it comes to Rick, he says, you're not going to just let the Commonwealth burn, right? And what I've been thinking throughout this entire season 11 was how, oh yeah, they're going to find a non-violent way to integrate or to maintain the institution that's the Commonwealth without breaking it entirely down, like fix things so that they can exist. The Commonwealth is too good to demolish. And we may still see that, but like in the last few episodes, they kill Sebastian, they kill Lance, and you're like thinking to yourself, oh my God. Well, then is Lance's last things he said to Carol about you're not just going to let them all burn, right? Is that the thing that's going to get Carol killed? Because we never really think, because we always had the Carol and Daryl spinoff in the background, and we all know that shows have reshoots. We all know that The Walking Dead is classically, for these very, very big scenes, have shot multiple shots in order to ward off spoilers. Classic example, killing Maggie in the lineup was just a thing to throw off all the people who thought they would, thought they had the spoiler in the bag, showing everybody the scene where Maggie gets batted. So could it be a possibility that with Carol not being in the spinoff, that who we all said was going to be either Zeke or Aaron, mostly getting the bullet at the end, and Sebastian's not even around to fire it, could Carol be one of those people? And it would be fitting too. And I'll explain why.
I'll tell you why it won't. Because they would lose a big chunk of their fan base. There are a big, substantial number of fans who would watch the spinoffs and everything just to see if Carol shows up. And if you kill Carol off and take away that chance, you just lost a big chunk of the fan base. I'm just saying. Carol is not like some of the other characters. I don't feel like you could lose her and still keep the fan base. Her fan base.
I kind of want to hear what everybody else has to say about this, because I do have a counter to this. Rachel's just mad. She's like, why would you think that? Why would you think that, you piece of shit? Why would you go there? Because I've said this to you before to prep you for this.
No, you have. We've talked about it. I have my reasons for thinking why Carol won't die. Will she take a bullet? Maybe, but they're not gonna.
I'd be mad if she took a bullet and not be dead, to be honest with you.
I mean, why not? John Dory can do it.
Yeah, well, that's a bad example, Rachel. That's a very bad example.
Hey, he took it. He took a bullet and survived.
Carol took a bullet before and survived, and now this is her second time, so bullets don't strike twice. Although Rick, okay, right? That's not a good example.
How many times can Rick get shot and survive? They're not going to kill Carol off. I mean, the show's already ending, so it's not like it's not going to make a big impact on viewership for the show, but I think it would ruin the ending of the show for so many people if they killed her off. The argument could be made, but I'm not for it. I think it would have an adverse effect on the viewers if they killed Carol off.
In that vein, a lot of the problem with the finale for a lot of people was that they killed Daenerys, who had become everybody's favorite. So I mean, I agree with Rachel in that vein, definitely.
So I'm going to say this, and I have another thing to say that, but the audiences that have been watching now would be betrayed, but the audiences to come might not feel that way, especially if you're going to be binge watching the entire series. This leads me to the second point, the real point, which is
more. We've been there since day one. We matter more.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gatekeeping.
You shut your mouth.
You don't.
I'm gatekeeping that.
I'll tell you more.
I haven't been there since day one.
And I'll tell you why, because the thing that you love, would you rather, okay, and this is a serious question. And it kind of, I've asked this question in another iteration, is like, would you rather your ex-boyfriends die so that you wouldn't have to think of them ever again for real? Or would you that human part of you that says, well, this is a me problem. This is not a them problem. So in that vein of that question, right? But here's the thing. Would you rather people...
I think Bridget and I are going to have the same answer.
Well, I know. But believe me, you know what? You know my history and this person, and I don't feel that way. Because I made it a me problem, and then I became stronger for it.
You are a much, much better person, though. So.
Well, no, I genuinely wish that
me.
piece of shit find happiness somewhere down the line. I don't want him to be miserable.
For yourself, right? Like, you're like, you know what?
I moved on, and I got a happy ending. And... I'm so childish.
I am too. Chucky. No, whatever.
No, I got my happily ever after. Was he a piece of shit? Yes. Did he hit me? Yes. Was it horrible? And did I hate 8 years of my life and myself for getting myself in that situation? Yes. But when I look back on that now, I think, you know what? You're so much further along now than you were even just 4 years ago. And how miraculous is that? And how incredible is it that you were blessed with the people in your life that you have now, like you guys and my husband, who is like so kind. And so like, all I think was, you know what? I feel really bad for you. I feel bad that your life was so shitty that you had to take it out on someone who just thought absolutely nothing of herself.
And that you missed out on this. It's true though.
Well,
it's
like
true.
I mean,
You are great.
I am great.
You're
okay.
great.
And I'm funny. I tell everybody I'm funny all the time because, you know, if you're going to be fat, it's not fair if you're not funny too. So it's like, I
can't say anything.
The self-deprecation runs deep on this one.
Well, now I can't give you more
Yeah. They gotta laugh with you or at you. It doesn't matter either way.
Like,
As long as you
gotta get the laugh.
two friends.
As
Gotta
long
get
as
the
you laugh
laugh.
first.
My hope is that he finds happiness and he isn't a shitbag with it.
Because that would be just another person.
Well,
dealing
and then
with
you
that,
didn't
right?
grow, and
Right.
then you didn't
Two.
learn anything, and then what was the whole point of this, and why did I waste 8 years of my life?
Right. If not to be at this precipice, right?
Right.
So what I just did though was I compared
You made me cry. You
The
son of a
Walking
bitch.
Dead.
That's what you did.
Sorry. Yeah, well, I gotta get her. I can't spend it all on Rachel, you know, the moral capital here. But I just compared The Walking Dead to an abusive ex. But it holds, right? We go through this really battering experience of watching our favorite people be harmed. And why do we do this? But we do it because it's beautiful. We do it because the story is incredible. And I bring you this for my point, and that's, would you rather the people who have watched the show from the beginning get to have this memory and it be completely demolished? Like nobody gets to see it after that. Or would you rather have this show live on in infamy and be revered for generations to come? And I say that because for Carol to receive that end, there's a beauty in that she, and I said this to you at the time, but I want to say this to everybody else, and that's, she was spared what in the comics she would have received way in the beginning. And to have her survive all of that, and in the show, survive children whom she regarded as children, whether it was actual to found, die left and right, and to have so much pain, but to do that in the name of other people's children so that they can have a life and move on, to be that almost, what is it in the mythology? They're called, not harpies, the ladies from the underworld, they're called, not Valkyries. This is Norse mythology. Oh, I forget what they're called. For her to be that kind of like avenging angel on behalf of like the children of the future. Lance says it. Wouldn't you have kids go to college, and for her to stand up for that and then be shot for that, obviously, but be that martyr that we thought Eugene was about to be in this episode? It would be the most beautiful ending for her.
I get what you're saying, Dave. I honestly do. And I think that there is beauty in that. But personally, and this isn't just because I love Carol or anything like that, it's more from my own personal background, and the reasons that I love Carol and Daryl are my connection to their characters, not like because I love the actors or any of that, which I do, but because what they've gone through in their lives is similar to what I've been through. I want them to have a happy ending because that's what feels right. They've lived these like tortured existences. It only seems fair that they get a little bit of happiness in the end.
There's fair, and then there's The Walking Dead. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
The whole point of the show is life isn't fair.
Yeah, I mean,
I
sure.
want to make it clear. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this. I want Carol to have adopted children whom she could teach the stabby things, and I want her to do all the right. And for them not to die.
Those kids, Dave?
I don't. That's the thing. But like what I want and what makes good television are completely different things, especially on this show. For all the things that we said about like major cast deaths and not having them, and this would be one of them. To have it be her, be like, to make sure that no child should die like hers did on this show. And to see another woman suffer the way she's watching Maggie suffer in this episode, I think she would want that, to be that martyr for that brighter future for all children. That's how I saw it. And I'm going to tell you this right now, I don't want this to happen. But as I was thinking this thought, I was tearing up at the thought. I was like, that would be, and because they're going to frame it in a way that you understand that this is why this is happening, because that's what she wants, that nobody else should have to suffer the way she did, or no child should have to die the way hers did.
Well, we're always wrong, Dave, so it's not even going to happen that way.
You know what? And I just made it so it never happened.
Thank you,
You're
Dave.
welcome. You're welcome, everybody. But I don't know. It's one of those thoughts that creep up in you. And I can tell, Rachel, as you're saying, that's not going to happen, because there was a part of you, and I saw it in your face, that's like, but what if it did? Like, I don't want to think that it could happen, but maybe it could.
we're all like painfully thinking
Sorry.
about like, who is it that's going to get it, right? Because we all feel like someone's going to bite it. And who's it going to be?
Right, because they did this classic misdirection of killing Sebastian, but then there's, there's going to be an it, like you just said. There's going to be an it. So who is it?
I'm just
still.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
And listen, I want to make it also very clear that yes, this is not what I want, blah, blah, blah. But also that I've always been a slave to story. And this is where there's always going to be this wall where I depart from many people. I think that's half the reason why we get canceled. The other half is you guys say something about eating children. And then I just encountered another blocked account today. Okay. Oh, you want to eat the RJ Grimes because he's Michonne and Rick's kid. When did we say that? Anyway.
No one ever said anything about eating RJ. No, we said eat the stupid ones.
Why are you? I'm
Canceled
not going
again.
to litigate.
Canceled again.
Okay, I get why they can't. I get why they blocked us. Okay, anyway.
Canceled again.
Because we imply. Anyway, we're litigating. Okay. Eject. Where's my eject button? I'm getting out of this box. Squawking Dead is over. Just as a podcast. Might as well be with all the blocked accounts. This does bring us back to Maggie finding Herschel. And I was not thinking that was going to happen. I thought that was going to be the genesis of Dead City.
Yeah, me too.
I just got to find it. So that threw me for a loop. Did that throw you for a loop also? Did you actually think she was going to find Herschel? Any of you?
No.
Not this episode.
Not that easily. Not just like go into a house and then hear him going, Mom.
And then he's just sitting in a room with the guys like, shut up, you talk too much. I was like, what is happening?
Oh, you don't talk to my son like that. But was it disappointing that it was so easy? I wasn't disappointed that she found him.
No, I wasn't. Shut up, you talk too much. I literally, when I heard that, I was like, what is happening right now?
And then I was like, rewind, subtitles.
I was like, okay.
Is that what he said?
I was like, okay, I get this. What they're trying to do is like, he's anxious because Herschel won't shut up. And so he's worried he's going to get in trouble. And so like, maybe he was on the verge of like about to kill Herschel, but they don't show any of that. So all you get is, you talk too much. Like,
and then Maggie coming in.
Like, just
you bring up a
dead.
good point. It does give some context to 197, the Trooper 197, and like what he was going through too. Like, oh, you fuck up in any way, that warden's gonna give you more time.
Well,
you don't get this kid to shut up.
You didn't ask me, and I'm the world's biggest bitch. So now you're staying like for 6 more months because I'm a huge bitch and you don't get to leave because you didn't ask me directly. What is wrong with this guy? Like, what an ego on this guy.
He is every middle management dude ever in existence.
Ugh.
It's a little bit of power and you just go, woo.
He is giving small dick energy is what's happening.
In a narrative sense, did you enjoy the way they established the kind of mirror of Negan? Like, not just the mirror of Negan, but like as much as you knew that this would be dealt with at some point soon, from the nuggets that he was giving off through the last few episodes, I did enjoy that they had established how bad it was. And not only was it bad for our people, but it was bad for the troopers too. This is how bad it is. It was bad for Trooper Davis. That's how bad this is. Kelly having that sudden realization that like, oh, we can get away, Ezekiel. And Ezekiel's like, no. And Kelly is seeing those 3 people gunned down. And not only that, the Walker versions of them coming into camp as they're leaving. You could see those scenes and be like, oh, that guy's going to get jerk, whatever. But I still felt the pressure. I still like the hide and go seek with Maggie and Carol. I still felt tension because you don't know who's going to get it next. Oh, it's the last few episodes. What are they going to do? The Commonwealth, they're going to kill them all. But like, well, they're going to make it very hard. They could, and they are. And I like that I felt that. Be like, no, they'll win. They're going to, wait, did they win against Negan? Did they really though? It's like Vietnam. It's like, did anybody win from that? I mean, we didn't get to die, but people died along the way. I like that they're not making this easy. With the warden as a character, they weren't making it easy. And he was pretty threatening and he was ready to kill a pregnant woman. And that ratcheted the tension.
Yes, he is Ratchet.
But aren't all gingers? Anyway, let's move on to the next scene.
Hey now.
You can call me a batch. Batch.
I fully believe that dude is CRM. I fully believe the warden is CRM.
He did give off Dennis vibes for sure. Ever since you said that, that's all I can think about now.
Just their willingness to just off everybody immediately. You know what? Just kill them all. That is CRM shit right there.
Or how hardcore, yeah. So then, if that's the case, let's take that to its natural conclusion. Does Rosita, was going back to your comment about, there was wrath, fucker. That was certainly wrath. Do you think that her feeding him to that walker is going to have more grave consequences, perhaps Dead City level consequences for our gang? On its face, that was supposed to happen, but it means bigger consequences than we even imagined.
I feel like with 2 episodes left, I feel like the Commonwealth meltdown is going to overtake everything, and his death isn't going to be a huge thing. It might tie us into the CRM, but I don't think anything will come of it, because I feel like the revolution and the meltdown is going to just overtake everything anyway.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. But it could be better. Connie noticing intuitively, much the way Carol might, that Daryl is scared. That was a good scene to have. There's a little framing in that context that might inform us later down the line of where his mindset's heading. But I liked it for 2 reasons. Daryl is scared. He's showing that. It's not something that he often shows. And it's not something that other people can detect. I didn't detect it, but apparently Connie did. So that's informs that the viewer is not going to always tell what Daryl is feeling, so they need an interpreter, right? There's a little play with that. But what I also liked was, on its face, is there something going on here? And I kind of want to read the room on that with what we've got in the last few episodes.
I think they're cute together. I'm not a shipper. I'm not like, oh, Donnie, so... But, they are cute, and they do have chemistry together, so I wouldn't hate it. But I feel like with 2 episodes left, where are they going to go with it?
France? And let's add another log to the fire. And Carol has been 100% supportive of this possibility, too. She's said as much throughout this few seasons, actually. So I want to see what Rachel thinks, because I'm an asshole.
No comment.
Bring out the Caroler in you yet.
No comment.
No comment. You're really no comment. Oh wow. Well, you get one every season, I suppose. I think I put you through enough today. But why though? You're good. You're a good person.
I don't want to expose myself.
But this is not strange. People know that you have an affinity. You'd be fine if it wasn't that Daryl and Carol ended up being together, but
I'd be fine if they didn't end up together, just as long as they're not with anybody else.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'll leave it there. Unless you want to qualify it later on. The thing I said earlier? But so you were like, okay, I'm going to, one more question. Okay. When you saw that, you were like, roll your eyes. Was it roll your eyes? Country?
No, it was cry my eyes. Do you not I barely remember this episode. I was crying the whole time.
But rolling your eyes while crying is very lubricating. So, I mean, maybe.
That's true. That's true. No, I don't like to read into things that I don't want to get behind. So, no, when you see things happening, I don't. I'm just like blinders. It's
so funny. He's like, she says so much by not saying anything at all. I don't want to just, you know what? I'm aware of my blindness towards this scene that I don't want happening.
Yes, I realize Carol is in support of this, and that's cool, Carol. That's cool. I don't have to be. I can be mad for you. It's fine.
Okay. You know what? I'll leave it there.
I am anti-caroler.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think that they need to be together. No, thank you. Some people can just be friends, and I feel like it's okay to write people as platonic friends. You don't have to try to jam everyone together all the time. It doesn't need to happen. Ugh. So, I think
not everybody gets a happy ending?
Do I think that they've had some moments? Sure, but have I had friendships where I've had really cutesy moments with people, and that relationship didn't go anywhere? Yeah, of course.
I'm a guy. I think that all the time.
And I was friends with those people afterwards. It wasn't a big deal. And I want them to be happy. So for me, it's that's a thing that could happen. And that happens with really close friends. If you are friends with the sex that you're attracted to, I think that can happen. I think that you have like
Mutually.
little flirty kind of moments, and it's like, but it's not, it doesn't have to be like a thing.
Specifically with Connie and Daryl, you're saying?
I'm saying Carol and Daryl, because in the early seasons, there were moments that you could say like, yeah, that was flirty or whatever.
Like this could go somewhere,
but
it
I am a
didn't.
flirty person, and I flirt with like all of my friends. So I do not find that unusual. And maybe people are like, well, you're a hoe, so that's why, but I'm not. Reformed. Reformed.
Fun, Bridget.
Party Bridget. No, Party Bridget is reformed. But I will say that I do like the Connie and Daryl relationship. I am a little bit of a Donnie fan. Like Sharon, I'm not a huge shipper. It is what it is. Like, the story is gonna be written, and I don't decide. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna write fanfic about it, because I just it is. I do write this. Yes,
Yeah.
I do write this.
You already know how this is.
So I already know what's going to happen. I'm not going to share it with you, though, guys. That's against my contracts.
Well, they might do reshoots and cast another writer. So,
And
anyway,
but
Sorry.
I have enjoyed these Connie and Daryl moments.
Yeah.
I think they're very sweet. I think it's a genuine relationship, and I think there's real chemistry there. So I'm not mad about it in the slightest at all. I'm pretty happy about it.
I'm just using this as a platform to expose myself, to exhibition myself, I should say. Because,
Shut up, Dave. One time I say it.
well, no, see, I say this so that I can go into the humiliating part, which is I feel like Dr. Everett now, and that I actually kind of have to. I'm not saying that I want this necessarily. I do want story. I want a good story. I know deep in my heart, actually, my actual deep dark heart, that's where all the darkness lies, is that I feel like they're going to fuck us again, and he's not going to be with anybody.
Ding, ding, ding.
On the surface, I do, this is hard for me to say. I do want this to happen, because it's a lot like the Heath thing. The more we keep talking about it, the more I don't care about it. So that's kind of the way I feel about the whole Daryl and Carol situation. So many opportunities for it to happen, never happen. So why am I going to go rake over this again? Like it's like pulling a slot machine expecting to win a jackpot, and you never do. So like when you see something like, and this is engineered, this is all written that way, just so we're clear, this is not an accident. This is not real life. So when you see something like Connie and Daryl, it's like, oh, this is fresh. This is a new opportunity. It's a different slot machine, essentially. And maybe I can win this time. Maybe something will happen.
Slot machines.
Yeah,
I'm talking this
moved over to the Wizard of Oz one,
Well, the mechanic is the
I'm
same.
not sure how
You're
I
like
feel about
investing
women
in
being
something.
called slot machines.
No, they're slut machines. There's a difference. So then,
You've got a slot. It makes sense. It just makes sense.
right. Where you said earlier that they fit. They just fit so well.
They do.
She's just like mad that I said, throw away Daryl and Carol.
Shut up. Let's talk about Mercer, will we?
That being said, but just to make it clear, because I'm not a sexist. I'm a little bit of a sexist, but it's game theory. Carol and Daryl is the sunk cost fallacy for most people. You put in so much, you can't walk away now. And then the whole idea is all game theory. It's what can I do to get people to keep investing in a thing? And I've said this on occasion. That's really what it amounts to. So when you do see something nice on the horizon, oh, that's a bright spot. They just game theoried me. That's all I want to say about that. I'm hand in hat saying that I want this to happen, knowing full well that they're gaming me right now. I'm admitting my Donnie ship, sort of, I suppose.
It
maybe.
makes me worried for Connie, if anything.
That's what I'm saying. I know it's gaming me right now, but I try my best to be like distance from these sort of things because I want to have that objective viewpoint, but
oh, and maybe I should clarify. I do love Connie as a character. So I don't know if I need to say that out loud or not, but I do.
Hey, I know why you would do that too.
Yeah.
And it's silly that you have to. It is silly.
But people have ruined it.
I know.
So that's fair.
Yeah.
But I do love Connie.
Yeah, watch every single episode, and we've always clarified because I'm in charge and I make you that we have very, very nuanced opinions. Like even if Rachel comes out and I know why you don't want to admit that you want what you want. It's because of that. And it's silly because I've heard you multiple times on the show be very clear about the way you see this relationship and that you don't wish ill on any of the other characters.
No.
So I'm here to, I got your back. You know, as much as I put you, I'm the one who puts you through the ringer, not them.
They don't have the right.
Yeah, you're my prisoner. That's why I make it up to you by giving you first credit. So Cosmom's here tonight, Rachel Berg. Good news. The courtroom scene, there's not much to it. On first watch, I was actually pissed at the scene, and I'm hoping that some of you might have thought the same thing I did on first watch, which was, you know, between the crying, that I was very aghast at Yumiko's lack of legal prowess in the moment in the first watch.
She's supposed to be the most renowned
No.
attorney in the Commonwealth.
I channeled Rachel in her spiel. No. But did you feel the same way as I did? Because it was one thing to say it and be like, okay, I can accept that in the prior episode. But in this episode, I was like, oh man, maybe Rachel's right.
No, because the judge was obviously in Pamela's pocket, and there was no way Yumiko couldn't make the judge do anything. So no matter what she did, she was gonna lose. So, no, I didn't feel like it was Yumiko's lack of prowess. I felt like it was being owned by Pamela.
Well, it's less about the result for me than it was the action.
Yeah.
I thought she could have asked more pointed, specific questions about the lottery. And again, I know we're pressed for time, this TV show, but they could have extended but anyway. But I agree with you, Charity. Upon second watch, I denoted her, and I like had to suffer writing this down because it hurt to write this down, but it's true. Noticing that Pamela just was not going to ask or answer anything of substance. She noticed that, and she says this to Eugene, I can't play to the judge or the legal system. I have to play to the audience now. Mm-hmm. You know what's really great about that? Really great. Upon second watch, and it just keeps growing in my mind, that Pamela noticed that, and she switched it up too. She saw the crowd as Yumiko is asking the question. She looks up with disgust, or like with that kind of like, this isn't going the way I thought it would. They don't seem happy with these questions. What about the lottery? And then she says, that's a doctored tape. And all of a sudden there were people in the audience going, some of them were like, what? Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Okay, dude, a doctored tape? They live in the zombie apocalypse. In what world is there enough technology for them to doctor a voice recording of someone? That is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's 2022. It's 2020. It's 2022 right now. And like we're at the point now where we can like do that. This is supposed to be technology that stopped in 2010.
Mm-hmm. But how many people actually know what Sebastian's voice sounds like? Like it's not like he's out there saying shit all the time.
Fair.
Well,
okay,
fair.
Not.
Everyone who heard him standing in the middle of the ring talking.
But okay, that was through a mic, and that tape recording was also through a mic. An older tape. Well, but an older tape recorder on cassette. And I can tell you, I can give you all the technical specifics on kilohertz and why. Well, like, okay, when we heard Maxine's voice for the first time through a radio, and we're talking about even smaller frequencies. Talk about a telephone. That's even smaller than a radio. I'm not sure which one comes first. But sometimes when you hear something, this is classic. I'll launch into this and I'll get back. I have a customer who on the phone sounds like he's saying, hi. But when I meet him in person, the frequency in his voice is restored, so he doesn't sound like that. But it's something that we, in the background of our company, make fun of all the time. But anybody who's actually been there in person, he sounds like, hi, guys. But like on the phone, he's like, hi, David. I'm like, whoa. In person, it's not like that at all.
God,
So like you can understand.
That you handled Fran Drescher's account.
Hi, David. So it's literally hi. Anyway, that's how he sounds. So, and we've mentioned this on the show in context with like Margot being Stephanie at the time, who we thought was Stephanie, and Eugene being confused about it. So I like that you brought that up, Charity. That's a good nugget. And I'm sure that Pamela on the reg would not want him to speak up because he's a little shit. So he's always speaking through devices, apparently.
Well, fine. Fine, you got me there, guys. But I will I'm going to sing a song right now, Dave, that I sang over the weekend before I even saw this episode. And that's that this was a mock trial with Judge Reinhold, mock trial. Because this was the fakest trial I've ever seen.
Fake in what way, though?
Pamela called him a murderer. Not even like you killed my son, but you're a murderer. And Yumiko's like, objection, obviously. Because you would object to that. You're trying to prove that he is not. And
right, innocent.
And they're like, they're just
guilty.
like straight up like denied. So I was like, oh, guilty until proven innocent. That's the court of law here.
That's the Commonwealth way. What?
So fake trial.
I thought for a second you meant fake in the sense of like, oh, this is bad. Like as in, no, the show did this bad. This is the fakest thing that the show has ever done.
No, dude. You remember the deer, right? This
you
is nowhere.
Deer, idiot.
Deer, the fakest thing I've seen.
I feel
on
like
the
an
show.
idiot for seeing the deer. And now everybody else is an idiot for seeing the deer. Anyway.
Yeah, if you've seen that deer, you're dumb as hell.
You just IQ points 10. Done. Don't see it again.
Just don't look at it.
Dumber after deer.
Yeah.
George, they should just George Lucas the shit out of that, right? Like when it's all said and done, they go back. Oh, Walking Dead remastered, season 7, I think it was. Yeah, because they're finding shit.
We
for
finally
Negan.
fixed the deer, you guys. But also
And it
for
looks
some
even
reason,
worse.
we added in Carl's eye again. You're like, what? Why? George
watch
Lucas
The
came
Walking
on
Dead.
to handle it. That's why we added in stuff you didn't ask for.
Wouldn't that make the scene with him singing to Negan a lot creepier? Just like because he has an actual
loosely
eye,
floating eye.
like Henry Cavill's CGI'd mustache.
God.
It was the best. Same effect. Ridicule.
Mashing up Carl and Aemon Targaryen like the two iPads.
Oh gosh.
I'm not there yet. God. Of course I've
Carl
seen promos.
Targaryen.
Carl Garian?
Targaryen.
Grimes Carl Garrett. Carl. Well, I can't say it now. All right. Well, I guess we're moving on. But interestingly enough, we've all seen the scene. I think it shows how smart Mercer is to know that this was not going to happen any other way. And we're all kind of wondering when it is going to be the point where Mercer comes around. Meanwhile, and I put this to you, was he always going to come around? Not like us going, yeah, he's going to come. Yeah, he's going to come around. But maybe he had this in motion for a while now. And he just needed to do it in this specific manner because he knew there was going to be no justice for Eugene. So he's been preparing since the moment he had to take him in or when he surrendered himself.
No, I think he changed his mind with Eugene's speech because if Princess didn't motivate him, like they were saying, if Princess didn't motivate him to act, when Eugene made his speech, I think he took that to heart and changed his mind right there on the spot.
Interesting.
That's what I thought too.
Does everybody feel that way? There was a thing that Angela Kang said in the Episoder Insider that says otherwise. Because when Yumiko goes to him, Angela Kang suggests that he
What
had
the fuck
already.
does he know? Sorry.
There you go. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear.
She doesn't write the show. I do.
But it is something. It is a cool thing to play with, right? Like when did he decide to do? And maybe we'll find out more in the next episode because it literally ends with him saying, "Let's all say it together." I don't know, 1 and 2 and 3. Time to fuck
shit up. We fucked that up.
That was horrible. That was terrible.
Well, we did it. We did it because we fucked shit up.
I'm not sure I said that.
Okay, so final thoughts on this moment, though. What are you feeling? Hopeful? Is it going to be a difficult climb? Does Mercer know what he's doing? Is he going to get the soldiers he needs? Because
I'll say what I always say, Dave. Viva la revolution! I'm excited.
Well, I mean, I feel what they've been showing us throughout this past season and a little bit of last season is how most of the soldiers really aren't. I mean, they're in line with the Commonwealth, but most of them are very disaffected. Almost every soldier that we've come across has had a disaffection of some kind with the way things are going. So I think that has been foreshadowing throughout the whole season that, yes, most of the soldiers are going to side with Mercer.
Class by class.
Once it goes over, once it starts happening.
On that note, I wanted to bring up something that I almost forgot, which was something that very dovetailed very nicely from the last episode, which was we saw Trooper 401, I think, stabbed with the railroad spike, Gabriel going to him and saying, people remember the last thing that you did. and it took second watch right up until the end for me going, hey, what are my final thoughts? And I thought of that scene in relation to how lovely it is that Negan did that very thing. The show or the fans have always been battling back and forth about what would it take for Negan to ever be absolved of his sins. And I feel like the show is always trying to find ways to respond to that. And I know that he can never be absolved of what he did, right, Rachel? And so I love how the show gets us really, really close to that answer. And that maybe, not that we can cut him some slack, but maybe the show's showing us something about ourselves when we look at these scenarios and how badly we want that to happen and how badly maybe we should think about maybe not doing that, or maybe showing mercy, let's say. And maybe it's not about him, but about us. And so I think he was in that moment showing the world, though I don't think he intended everybody to come in to rally with him, that maybe the last thing he could have done could be the way he was remembered, for being that one person that could take it all on for everybody else, for the sake of his kid alone, let's say, so that his kid wouldn't have to remember him as, oh, my dad was a hero. You know, he took it on to save my mom, let's say. I just think about that, you know, and I like how that carried through, and just going on the heels of what Sharon D just said, like, these people just want to be able to live without a jackboot. They don't want to be remembered for this, for gunning down a pregnant woman. That's crazy. That's like World War II Holocaust shit.
We talked about a lot in the last episode.
Yeah, and they just ratcheted it up. Just like me, I'm ratchet. So, with that dark thought, everyone, if you've liked what you've heard, head over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and an eggplant is all we need to know that you love us. But tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like. Oh, and tell us what we missed. Please tell us what we missed. But remember to tell us after every episode, and remember to leave your screen name so that we can tag you in any posts with your rating. And if you want to follow our journey behind the scenes to get the schedule of our recordings, because we don't post them on social media, all we ask you to do is follow us on either ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead. You don't have to buy us a coffee on Ko-fi. You don't have to join a membership tier for as little as $1 a month. All we want you to do is follow us so that you know when we record, you know when we drop our unedited episode recordings, even though you might need to support us in order to get them. But should you decide to support us by buying us a coffee on Ko-fi, you'll receive 30 days of supported back content. Or if you join a membership tier for as little as $1 a month, you'll have access to our Discord, our unedited episode recordings, and our love and devotion, and a whole host of perks that you don't even know the limit of, because sometimes we don't explicitly say them. We just like giving you more. That's the kind of people we are. We want to know that we're giving the people who support our journey more. I'm always thinking of ways. To that end, there will be a merch discount at the viewing party. I still have to figure that one out. But if you are a member of either our Ko-fi or our Patreon, we will be issuing on-the-spot discounts for our merch should you buy. Take care, everybody. I've been your host, David Cameo. I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, Sharon D, K. Blazy Gardner, and Bridget, ko-fi.com/punkybruiser. That's PUNKYBRUISETER. 2 episodes left, folks.
Punky.
It's time to punk.
Oh, by the way, Oscar was in that episode. We didn't even talk about it.
Oh, yeah, Oscar's in the episode. Bye, everybody. I'm kidding. Which was pretty cool to see. Sorry about that.
He got zoomed in on twice. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
A clear shot of his face, even though, you know, they're usually masked.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool, too. I bet that was really great for Oscar to show during the viewing party. It was after not being like in anything since The Whispers, like, well, and he was masked. So we got to see his face. That's kind of cool, that they're able to do that. But with that, everybody, take care. We'll see you in the next one. And barring the next one, we'll see you live as we watch together at the viewing party. Anthony Collins, that's my viewing party. I can't wait to meet all of you. I know that some of the people that we're going to meet, we've never met. Yeah. And there's going to be a whole subsection of people that a whole set of the crowd that we've never met before. So I can't wait to show you what we're doing. I can't wait for you to see this, because you will have met us for the first time, and we want to give you something that you love to watch.
We'll have bullied you into listening to us.
Yeah. We tortured Rachel enough so that you're like, oh, I like that. Torture Rachel more.
Listen.
See you next week, folks. Take care.
Bye.
And some of you, see you soon.